Hey, good day all. So I just noticed that I had something to compare in my inventory. This time a Stuka tank buster. Um, this one has a stand. This one has a Hobby Master type stand. If I have the chance in my collection to show you guys, I'll show it. But I mainly want to compare the planes in this case. So weight or part setting, and show you guys Corgi versus, in this case, Atlas. So the ultimate of cost saving, so a very cheap one versus a very expensive one. So just show what's the difference. By the way, used, these are not so bad. These are from the Predator series from Corgi. So Predators of the Sky. They're not so bad. They're a good price. They're not too expensive. But I mainly want to show and compare like what you get for your money. So we're going to dig into it again. We're going to go piece by piece and go down it to compare the guns, compare the props, the windows, antennas, whatever. Alrighty, guys, let's dig in. Alrighty, I'll like get my mouse out of the way because I was editing another movie just now. So I had a scale we're going to use again. Let's right away dig into a scale because I believe the Atalya is a lot heavier for some reason. So the Atalya weighs 213 grams and the Corgi weighs 164. So a complete different frame. Now, so that's the weight part. That's always interesting and fun. Now, what was good about the Atalya, the guns were something you should install. So the gun pods, let's say the wheels were installable. It was a little paint chip when I got it out of the box. It was new in box. Same with the rear wheel. The prop is a loose part, but also it fits really badly. The antenna is nicely removable. The guns are a bit small. The pitot, I don't know if it's the right size, but it for sure looks a lot better than the Corgi. Although it could be accurate. So let's start from the beginning. So what instantly do you see? The props. So Corgi has a nicely finished prop and two pieces. The Atalya has a bit of a loose one. The amount of exhaust ports. So correct 6 pipes, and there's a little front piece to it, so a guard piece. That's not with this one. Also a bit of a different model between the two. I didn't have the antenna anymore, but the rear guns are way more accurate than the rear guns on this one, way too small. This is more for like a big size bomber. So if you compare the guns, it's fun to see. The glass curving, personally on Corgi nicer, but here it's more clear. If you compare paint, so there's paint lines that are not so nice, but in real probably would be the same. If I compare it to the Corgi, way different. Then also had a tailpiece, so there is actually no room between the Atalya to see between the flap and the wing. And with the Corgi, there's actually nice spacing. It's also, I think this is plastic. It's nice. So they added it and glued it. So there's quite already some big differences between the two. The gun size is the same, so the details on the guns, and look also at the gun port. It's more like a 30mm than this one. Also some paint residue here and there. Now, also what I instantly noticed was no swastika. So on this one it has it, and this one they didn't. Which is a bit of a shame. They have the same arrow, the same paint scheme roughly. So the angles, at least in the paint. But the colors on this one is way too grassy. The Corgi is a lot more accurate. But now if you compare to price, there's a big difference. So this is around, let's say 50. These are around 10 used. These go for 35 used even sometimes, you see them. The wheels on both are not rollable on the Atalya, but on the Corgi, it's actually a movable wheel. So a lot more detail. In general, also even the rear antenna parts here. Also the fuselage is a lot thicker on this one. The fuselage on the Atalya is a lot smaller. But as for weathering, the Atalya is not bad. It has lined out paint. Also the intake for the engine is open on the Corgi. It's not on this one. They just painted a radiator on it. So all these little details. Now I'm very curious. Also height set is wrong. So this one is too low. This one is correct height. Which one would you pick for your money? Would you think like, I'm not a main collector on World War II and I want a Stuka like I was back in the day, and you would go for Atalya? Or would you go for Corgi because you are a World War II collector, or even somebody just wants a historically correct plane? Let me know in the comments. I'm really curious. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. It was fun to compare something completely out of the obvious. My personal goal would be the Corgi one. Why? I don't mind spending a little bit extra. This one probably will go. I'm not going to keep it most likely. But for sure this one will replace that one. So I hope you guys like this. Like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment if you want to see another comparison. Maybe you've seen a plane in my collection. You think like, hey, he has both brands. Let's compare. I might do the F-16 next because I have some F-16s from different brands. I need to find an F-16 from JC Wings and Caliber Wings to make it complete. But I have Dragon. I have, of course, Hobby Master. So I need an extra 2. But we'll find them. Maybe one of my buddies can lend me one. But hey, take care, guys. Have a great day. Or great evening, of course. And see you next time.